On a sunlit afternoon in the breezy coastal city of Malibu, a 10-year-old boy named Jalen Lawrence stood on the beach with his toes buried in the warm golden sand. The waves rolled in lazily, glittering under the sunlight, while surfers, paddleboarders, and swimmers scattered the shimmering waters. Jalen was a local, and the beach was his sanctuary. Every day after school, he would rush to the ocean, captivated by its infinite expanse and the mysteries it seemed to hold. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. Jalen, though young, had developed a knack for observing his surroundings with a keen eye. His father, a retired Coast Guard officer, had taught him how to swim before he could walk. By the time he was 7, Jalen was practically a fish in the water, darting through waves and diving into the depths with ease. But Jalen wasn't just a good swimmer. He had inherited his father's instinct for danger. That instinct was what changed everything on that fateful day. As Jalen walked along the shoreline, scanning for seashells, his gaze drifted out to the horizon. At first, he saw nothing unusual. Then, just beyond the breaking waves, he noticed a splash, a figure flailing in the water. At first, he thought it might be a playful swimmer caught in the surf. But as he focused, Jalen's stomach dropped. The motions were frantic, uncoordinated. Whoever it was, they were in trouble. Jalen didn't hesitate. He dashed into the surf, his lean frame cutting through the waves like a knife. His father's voice echoed in his mind. "Stay calm. Assess the situation. You're no good to anyone if you panic." With powerful strokes, he surged toward the figure, which was now barely visible against the churning sea. When he reached the struggling man, his heart skipped a beat. This wasn't just anyone. It was Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur and tech visionary, though Jalen didn't recognize him at first. Musk's usually composed demeanor was nowhere to be seen. He was gasping for air, his arms flailing as he struggled to stay afloat. "I've got you!" Jalen shouted, his voice steady despite the pounding of his heart. He grabbed Musk's arm and maneuvered behind him, locking his grip around the man's chest as his father had taught him. "Stop moving so much! Let me do the work!" Musk, clearly exhausted, followed the boy's instructions. Jalen swam with all his might, pulling the weight of a grown man through the rolling waves. His muscles burned, but he refused to let go. After what felt like an eternity, they reached the shore. Bystanders had gathered, watching in shock and awe as the young boy hauled Musk onto the sand. Jalen checked to make sure Musk was breathing, relieved to find that he was coughing up seawater but otherwise alive. "Are you okay, mister?" Jalen asked, his voice tinged with concern. Musk coughed again and nodded weakly, his eyes locked onto Jalen's, and for a moment he seemed at a loss for words. Finally, he rasped, "You saved my life." News of the dramatic rescue spread like wildfire. Beachgoers had captured the event on their smartphones, and by evening, Jalen's heroic act was trending on social media. Yet despite the sudden attention, Jalen remained humble. "I just did what anyone else would do," he told reporters who flocked to his family's modest home. "I'm just glad he's okay." The next morning, a sleek Tesla pulled up outside Jalen's house, drawing the attention of neighbors. Musk stepped out, looking more composed but still deeply reflective. He knocked on the door holding a small gift-wrapped box. When Jalen answered, Musk knelt to the boy's level, his expression a mix of gratitude and awe. "I didn't get a chance to thank you properly," Musk said. "You didn't just save my life. You reminded me of something I'd lost sight of: courage and selflessness." He handed Jalen the box, which contained a limited edition Tesla smartwatch. But Musk's gratitude didn't end there. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Musk asked. Jalen hesitated, shy under the billionaire's gaze. "An inventor, maybe, or an astronaut. I like building stuff," Musk smiled. "Then let me help you." Over the next few weeks, Musk arranged for Jalen to visit Tesla's headquarters in Palo Alto, as well as SpaceX in Hawthorne. For Jalen, it was like stepping into a dream. He met engineers, sat in on design meetings, and even got a private tour of the Starship assembly area. Musk himself took a personal interest in mentoring the boy, encouraging his curiosity and teaching him the importance of innovation. Jalen's natural talent began to shine. One day, during a brainstorming session at SpaceX, he pointed out a simple but effective tweak to a rocket nozzle design, impressing seasoned engineers. Musk, watching from the sidelines, couldn't hide his grin. "This kid," he announced, "is going to change the world." But Musk's investment in Jalen wasn't just about fostering his intellect. He also took steps to ensure the boy had access to opportunities he might not have otherwise. Musk funded a scholarship for Jalen at a prestigious STEM-focused school, covering everything from tuition to transportation. He even set up a trust fund for Jalen's college education, ensuring the boy could pursue his dreams without financial barriers. As months turned into years, Jalen flourished. He became a regular fixture at SpaceX during school breaks, soaking up knowledge like a sponge. By the time he was 16, he had already filed his first patent for an innovative solar energy system. Musk proudly called him the youngest member of the Tesla family. Yet through it all, Jalen remained grounded. He never forgot where he came from or the people who had shaped him. He used his growing platform to advocate for increased access to STEM education in underprivileged communities, often returning to his old neighborhood to speak to kids about dreaming big. Musk, too, was transformed by the experience. The rescue had been a wake-up call, forcing him to reevaluate his priorities. He became more involved in philanthropic efforts, dedicating significant resources to initiatives aimed at combating climate change and improving educational access. In interviews, he often credited Jalen with inspiring this shift. Sometimes, he would say, "It takes a kid to remind you of what really matters." By the time Jalen graduated from high school, he was a household name, not just for his connection to Musk, but for his own groundbreaking work in renewable energy and sustainable technology. At his graduation ceremony, Musk was a guest speaker. Addressing the crowd, he said, "I wouldn't be standing here today if it weren't for Jalen. He saved my life in more ways than one." The applause was deafening, but Jalen, sitting among his classmates, simply smiled. For him, the journey was just beginning. Years later, Jalen would look back on that day at the beach as the moment that set everything in motion. But what he valued most wasn't the fame or success that followed. It was the bond he had formed with Musk, a bond that had grown into a partnership rooted in mutual respect and a shared vision for the future. Together, they would go on to tackle some of the world's biggest challenges, proving that even the most unexpected encounters can change the course of history. The bond between Jalen and Elon Musk only deepened over the years. Their relationship grew from one of mentorship into something far greater, a partnership built on mutual admiration and shared ambition. For Elon, Jalen was a beacon of hope, a reminder that the future rested in the hands of the courageous and the curious. For Jalen, Musk represented opportunity, the embodiment of what could happen when vision met perseverance. Jalen's journey into the world of innovation continued at a breathtaking pace. By the time he entered college at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, on a full scholarship, he was already being hailed as a prodigy. His first few months on campus were nothing short of transformative. He immersed himself in coursework, spending long nights in the lab tinkering with prototypes and experimenting with new technologies. While other students were still adjusting to the rigors of higher education, Jalen was submitting his designs to academic journals and gaining recognition from his professors. One of Jalen's earliest breakthroughs came during his sophomore year. He developed a revolutionary material capable of harvesting energy from both sunlight and ambient heat. Dubbed thermosolarite, the material promised to double the efficiency of traditional solar panels while reducing costs significantly. When Musk got wind of the discovery, he immediately invited Jalen to present his findings at Tesla's annual Energy Summit. The presentation captivated not only Musk, but also industry leaders and investors. Within weeks, Jalen's material was integrated into Tesla's research pipeline, setting the stage for a new era in renewable energy. Despite his growing accolades, Jalen never let success cloud his values. He returned home to his neighborhood frequently, visiting his old school and organizing workshops for kids interested in science and technology. During these visits, he would bring hands-on projects like small robotics kits or simple solar-powered devices to ignite curiosity in young minds. "I was just like you," he often told the students. "The only difference is, I had people who believed in me. And now, I believe in you." His efforts didn't go unnoticed. By his junior year, Jalen had founded an initiative called Brighter Futures, a nonprofit dedicated to increasing STEM opportunities for underrepresented communities. The organization partnered with schools, community centers, and corporations to provide resources, mentorship, and scholarships to students with potential but limited means. Musk became the nonprofit's primary sponsor, matching Jalen's passion with generous funding and strategic guidance. Meanwhile, Jalen's work at MIT continued to push boundaries. His senior thesis, a concept for a modular urban energy grid powered entirely by renewable sources, caught the attention of governments worldwide. Musk, ever the visionary, saw its potential not just as a technological marvel, but as a solution to energy inequality. He and Jalen collaborated on a pilot program, launching the first smart grid in a low-income neighborhood in Chicago. The project was a resounding success, reducing energy costs by 40% for residents, and proving that sustainable technology could be both accessible and transformative. But Jalen wasn't satisfied with incremental change. As he stepped into adulthood, he began to tackle bigger questions. How could humanity make life better for everyone? How could technology not just solve problems, but inspire a new way of thinking about our shared future? One day, during a brainstorming session at SpaceX, Jalen approached Musk with a radical idea. What if we use space technology not just to explore the stars, he proposed, but to fix Earth's biggest problems? Musk leaned forward, intrigued. I'm listening. Jalen explained his vision for deploying satellites equipped with advanced sensors and artificial intelligence to monitor and combat climate change. These satellites, he argued, could track deforestation, detect methane leaks, and optimize renewable energy deployment in real time. Musk, always drawn to bold ideas, immediately greenlit the project. They named it EarthGuard. The development of EarthGuard was a monumental undertaking, involving some of the brightest minds at SpaceX and Tesla. Jalen played a central role, balancing his studies with long nights at the SpaceX facility. By the time the first EarthGuard satellites launched, Jalen had graduated from MIT with honors and joined SpaceX full-time as a lead innovator. The satellites quickly proved their worth, helping nations worldwide implement more effective environmental policies. For Jalen, seeing his work make a tangible impact was deeply fulfilling. As his reputation grew, Jalen became a sought-after figure in the tech world. Companies offered him lucrative deals, universities begged him to join their faculties, and governments sought his counsel on pressing issues. Yet Jalen remained humble and focused, often crediting Musk for giving him his start. "I didn't get here alone," he said in one interview. "I'm just standing on the shoulders of giants." One of Jalen's most ambitious projects emerged from a casual conversation with Musk about humanity's long-term survival. The two had often discussed the challenges of space colonization, but Jalen wondered aloud if the same principles could be applied on Earth. What if humanity could build self-sustaining, climate-resilient communities right here? The idea evolved into the New Horizon Project, an initiative to design and construct futuristic cities powered entirely by renewable energy, equipped with vertical farms, and capable of withstanding extreme weather. The first prototype city, Horizon 1, was constructed in the Nevada desert. It became a global sensation, attracting scientists, urban planners, and policymakers eager to learn from its innovative design. Horizon 1 wasn't just a technological marvel, it was a symbol of hope. People traveled from around the world to see it, inspired by what was possible when visionaries like Jalen and Musk worked together. For Jalen, the city represented the culmination of everything he stood for: innovation, sustainability, and the belief that no challenge was insurmountable. While his professional accomplishments were staggering, Jalen also found time to nurture his personal life. He reconnected with childhood friends, ensuring that the people who had known him before his rise remained part of his journey. He also met someone who would become his greatest supporter, Maya, a brilliant environmental scientist he encountered during the EarthGuard project. The two shared a deep passion for saving the planet, and their relationship blossomed into a partnership as dynamic as Jalen's collaboration with Musk. As the years went by, Jalen and Musk continued to work together, their partnership evolving in unexpected ways. Musk, now in his 60s, began to take a step back from the day-to-day operations of his companies, focusing instead on mentoring the next generation of innovators. Jalen, meanwhile, took on more leadership roles, eventually becoming CEO of a new venture they co-founded, Nexus Futures. Nexus Futures was an audacious project that combined the best of Tesla, SpaceX, and Jalen's own initiatives. Its mission was as bold as its founders: to solve humanity's greatest challenges through technological innovation. Under Jalen's leadership, the company tackled everything from eradicating water scarcity to developing advanced medical technologies powered by AI. Musk often joked that Jalen had surpassed him, but the truth was he couldn't have been prouder. In time, Jalen's name became synonymous with hope and progress. He was invited to speak at the United Nations, where he unveiled a plan to deploy Nexus technology in developing countries, ensuring that even the most vulnerable populations had access to clean water, sustainable energy, and quality healthcare. His speech, delivered with the same calm confidence he had displayed as a 10-year-old rescuing Musk, earned him a standing ovation. Despite his monumental success, Jalen never forgot his roots. He continued to invest in brighter futures, expanding its reach to millions of students worldwide. He often visited classrooms, reminding kids that their potential was limitless. "I wasn't born a genius," he told them. "I was just a kid who loved to ask what if." As the decades passed, the world changed in ways no one could have imagined. SpaceX, under Jalen's influence, established the first permanent colony on Mars. EarthGuard helped reverse the effects of climate change, giving humanity a second chance. Nexus Futures became a cornerstone of progress, touching every aspect of human life. And through it all, Jalen remained the same thoughtful, driven individual who had dived into the ocean that fateful day. Elon Musk, now retired, often reflected on the moment Jalen had saved him. "I've seen a lot of extraordinary things in my life," he once said in an interview, "but none of them compare to that kid pulling me out of the water. He didn't just save me, he saved the future." Jalen's legacy became interwoven with Musk's, their names spoken in the same breath as titans who reshaped the world. But for Jalen, it was never about fame or recognition. It was about making a difference, proving that even the smallest acts of courage could ripple outwards in ways no one could predict. In his later years, Jalen wrote a memoir titled A Ripple in the Waves, chronicling his journey from a young boy on a beach to one of the most influential figures in history. The book became a bestseller, inspiring generations to come. In its opening chapter, he wrote, "It all started with a simple choice, to dive into the water, to help someone in need. I didn't know who he was or what that moment would mean. I only knew that I had to act. And sometimes, that's all it takes to change the world." As Jalen Lawrence continued his extraordinary journey, he found himself balancing the demands of innovation, leadership, and personal fulfillment. The world was evolving rapidly, thanks in no small part to his and Elon Musk's visionary work. Yet Jalen's mind was always turning to new possibilities, pushing the boundaries of what humanity could achieve. In his late 30s, Jalen initiated one of his most ambitious endeavors, Project Unity. This initiative sought to integrate humanity's collective technological and cultural strengths into a unified global network. Jalen believed that solving the planet's most persistent challenges, poverty, inequality, and environmental degradation, required a holistic approach that combined advanced technology with a deep understanding of human values. The core of Project Unity was a decentralized AI-powered system named Gaia. Gaia was unlike any other artificial intelligence system created before. It was designed not to dominate or replace human decision-making, but to empower it. Drawing on the wealth of data from EarthGuard satellites, Nexus Futures technologies, and input from global citizens, Gaia became a neutral arbiter, offering unbiased solutions to the world's most pressing problems. To implement Gaia, Jalen orchestrated a series of global summits, gathering leaders, scientists, and activists from every corner of the world. The project faced resistance initially, as some nations and corporations feared losing their autonomy or control. Jalen, however, possessed a rare gift for diplomacy. He personally traveled to skeptical regions, listening to concerns and building trust. His sincerity and unwavering belief in the project gradually won over even the staunchest critics. Meanwhile, Jalen's personal life flourished. He and Maya, now married, had 2 children, Ava and Kieran. Jalen was deeply committed to being a present and supportive father, despite the immense demands on his time. He often brought his family on his travels, exposing his children to the diversity of the world and the importance of service. Ava, an artist with a passion for storytelling, became her father's biggest cheerleader, often creating stunning visual narratives of his work. Kieran, a budding engineer, frequently accompanied Jalen to labs and workshops, absorbing his father's wisdom like a sponge. Jalen's family provided him with a grounding force amidst his whirlwind of responsibilities, On weekends, they would retreat to their home in the Pacific Northwest, a self-sustaining sanctuary Jalen had designed himself. Powered entirely by renewable energy and nestled in the heart of a lush forest, the house was a testament to his belief in living harmoniously with nature. It was here, surrounded by towering trees and the quiet hum of life, that Jalen found clarity and inspiration. As Gaia continued to expand its reach, it began tackling problems that had long seemed insurmountable. One such challenge was global healthcare. Jalen and his team developed a network of medical drones equipped with advanced diagnostic tools and emergency supplies. These drones, guided by Gaia, could reach remote villages, disaster zones, and war-torn regions in record time. By integrating AI diagnostics with real-time feedback from local healthcare workers, the system revolutionized access to life-saving treatment. The impact was staggering. Child mortality rates in underserved regions dropped by 70% within 5 years, and outbreaks of diseases like malaria and cholera were contained with unprecedented efficiency. Jalen's vision of a world where technology served the most vulnerable was becoming a reality. Despite these successes, Jalen never lost sight of the importance of storytelling. He understood that technology alone could not solve humanity's problems. It had to be accompanied by a shift in mindset. To this end, he partnered with artists, filmmakers, and writers to create compelling narratives about the future. One of these collaborations, a documentary titled The Possible Horizon, chronicled the journey of Project Unity and its impact on real people. The film won international acclaim, sparking a global movement to embrace collective action. One of the most profound moments of Jalen's career came during a visit to a small village in the Arctic, where the effects of climate change were particularly devastating. Rising sea levels had displaced entire families, and traditional ways of life were disappearing. Jalen arrived with a team of engineers and anthropologists to explore solutions. But instead of imposing technological fixes, he took time to listen. Sitting around a fire with the village elders, Jalen learned about their deep connection to the land and the sea. He realized that any solution would have to honor their cultural heritage. Working together, they co-designed a hybrid system that combined modern technology with traditional knowledge, floating solar-powered homes that adapted to rising waters while preserving the community's unique way of life. The project became a model for culturally sensitive innovation and solidified Jalen's belief that progress was not about erasing the past, but building on it. For him, the experience underscored a fundamental truth. True leadership wasn't about having all the answers, but about empowering others to shape their destiny. As Jalen entered his 40s, the world began to view him not just as a technological innovator, but as a philosopher king of the modern age. He was invited to deliver a historic address at the United Nations, where he proposed a bold new framework for global governance. Dubbed the Covenant of Earth, the framework emphasized collaboration over competition, sustainability over exploitation, and equity over dominance. The challenges we face, climate change, inequality, and resource scarcity, know no borders, Jalen told the assembly. If we are to survive, we must transcend our differences and act as one human family. The Covenant of Earth was adopted unanimously, marking a turning point in international relations. Under its principles, countries began sharing resources and knowledge in unprecedented ways. The world saw a decline in conflict and a rise in cooperative ventures, from clean energy initiatives to universal education programs. Meanwhile, Jalen's work in space exploration was reaching new heights. SpaceX, under his leadership, achieved a breakthrough in interstellar travel. Jalen spearheaded the design of a propulsion system that made voyages to distant star systems feasible. The first interstellar probe, aptly named Endeavour, was launched to explore Proxima Centauri. The mission captivated the world, uniting humanity in a shared sense of wonder and possibility. Even as Jalen expanded humanity's horizons, he remained deeply connected to the Earth. He launched a global reforestation campaign, using drones and advanced seed planting technologies to restore millions of acres of forest. The initiative not only helped mitigate climate change, but also revitalized ecosystems and created jobs in struggling communities. In his later years, Jalen turned his attention to the philosophical implications of his work. He began exploring questions about the intersection of technology, ethics, and the human spirit, collaborating with thinkers from diverse fields, philosophers, spiritual leaders, and indigenous elders, he sought to define a new framework for living in harmony with both technology and nature. His reflections culminated in a groundbreaking book, The Human Code, which became an instant classic. The book argued that technology should not be an end in itself, but a tool for cultivating empathy, resilience, and interconnectedness. Jalen's ideas resonated deeply, sparking a global movement to integrate ethical considerations into every aspect of technological development. By the time Jalen approached his 60s, he was widely regarded as one of the most transformative figures in history. He had redefined what it meant to be a leader, a visionary, and a human being. Yet he remained the same humble boy who had once stood on a beach in Malibu, ready to dive into the unknown. One evening, as he watched the sun set over the Pacific with his family, Jalen reflected on the journey that had brought him here. The ocean, vast and mysterious, stretched out before him, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that life held. "You know," he said to his children, his voice soft but full of conviction, "everything we've done, everything we've built, it all started with a choice to act, to care, to believe in something greater than ourselves. Never forget that the smallest actions can have the biggest ripple effects." In the years that followed, Jalen continued to inspire, innovate, and uplift. And when the time came for him to step back and let the next generation take the reins, he did so with grace, confident that the world was in good hands. For Jalen Lawrence, the legacy he left behind was not just one of extraordinary achievements, but of a profound belief in the power of humanity to rise above its challenges and create a future that was not only brighter, but truly united. The Archive of Hope was not just a library of knowledge, but an interactive experience. Built into a massive crystalline structure nestled in a serene valley, it was powered by an advanced AI system capable of synthesizing and contextualizing information for visitors. Each individual who entered the archive could embark on a personalized journey, learning not only about humanity's scientific and cultural milestones, but also about the ethical dilemmas and choices that shaped them. Jalen believed that knowledge was most impactful when it connected to the human experience. In one of the archive's main chambers, visitors could interact with immersive holograms of historical figures. Scientists, artists, activists, and ordinary individuals whose courage and ingenuity had shaped the course of history. Among these figures, Jalen included the voices of unsung heroes from underrepresented communities, ensuring their contributions were never forgotten. The construction of the archive was a global effort, with contributions from experts across every field and corner of the world. Jalen personally oversaw its design, working closely with architects and technologists to ensure that the structure itself embodied the values it sought to preserve. The archive was entirely self-sustaining, powered by renewable energy, and constructed with materials sourced responsibly from around the globe. When the Archive of Hope opened to the public, it quickly became a beacon of inspiration. People from every walk of life made pilgrimages to experience its wisdom, from scientists seeking solutions to pressing problems to young dreamers searching for guidance. One of the archive's most popular features was a section dedicated to the pivotal moment that had set Jalen on his path: the day he saved Elon Musk from drowning. It was a simple yet profound reminder of how a single act of courage could ripple outward, shaping the course of history. As Jalen aged, he spent more time in quiet reflection, often returning to the archive to sit among its luminous halls. It was here, surrounded by the collective story of humanity, that he found peace. For Jalen, the archive was not just a culmination of his life's work, but a gift to a future he would never see. A future he hoped would be kinder, more just, and endlessly curious. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the archive, Jalen stood on its balcony with his family by his side. Looking out over the world he had dedicated his life to improving, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. He turned to his children and grandchildren, his voice steady but full of emotion. "Always remember," he said, "that the future isn't something we wait for, it's something we create. And the best way to honor what's come before is to build something even better." Jalen Lawrence passed away peacefully a few years later, surrounded by his loved ones. But his vision, his legacy, and his unwavering belief in humanity lived on. The Archive of Hope became a cornerstone of human civilization, ensuring that the ideals Jalen championed — courage, compassion, and curiosity would continue to guide the world for centuries to come. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us, what are your thoughts on a young black boy saving Elon Musk from drowning? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.